I'm Mark, 34, married to Lisa for 6 years, high school sweethearts. We were that sickeningly perfect couple. The ones who still held hands and made googly eyes at each other. We had it all. Good jobs, nice house, plans for kids, until it all went to shit. It started with a phone call, Lisa working late, again. But this time, I heard laughter, music, not office sounds. My stomach dropped. Next day, I did something I never thought I'd do. I snooped, checked her phone while she was in the shower. Wish I hadn't. Texts, hundreds of them, with Jim, her boss, explicit, detailed, soul-crushing. I'm talking play-by-plays of their hookups, plans for more, inside jokes about sneaking around. I confronted her that night. She denied at first, told me I was crazy. I showed her the texts. She broke down. Tears, excuses. It just happened. I was lonely. It didn't mean anything. Bullshit. All of it. Now I'm crashing at my buddy's place. Can't eat, can't sleep. When I do, nightmares. Lost 10 pounds in a week. My boss thinks I'm on drugs. Lisa's blowing up my phone, begging 1 minute, blaming me the next. You work too much. You never listen. As if that justifies f***ing your boss in our bed. Yeah, that's a detail I didn't need. And Jim, married, 2 kids, coaches Little League. I want to ruin him, tell his wife, destroy his career, beat his face in. But is that too far? Does it make me the bad guy? My head's a mess. 1 second I'm packing my bags, next I'm crying over our wedding album. It's exhausting. Do I try counseling? Can we come back from this? Or do I cut my losses and bail? I look at her now and I don't even know who she is. The memories are the worst. Our first kiss under the bleachers, the night I proposed, our honeymoon. Were they all lies? Was she thinking of him even then? I've started obsessing, going through old texts, emails, photos, looking for clues I missed. It's pathetic, I know, but I can't stop. My friends are useless. They offer cliches. Plenty of fish in the sea. Time heals all wounds. They don't get it. How could they? I've thought about revenge, sleeping with her best friend, maxing out our credit cards, burning her clothes in the front yard, but what's the point? It won't undo anything. Some days I think about forgiveness, trying to move past this. Other days I want to set fire to everything we built together and watch it burn. I've started going to the gym, hitting the punching bag till my knuckles bleed. It helps, a little. Lisa's sister called, begged me to give her another chance, said everyone makes mistakes. I wanted to scream. A mistake is forgetting to buy milk, not f***ing your boss for months. I'm seeing a therapist next week. Doubt it'll help, but I'm out of options. I keep waiting to wake up, for this all to be some sick nightmare. But every morning I open my eyes and it's still real, still hurts like hell. The worst part? I still love her, or the person I thought she was. How f***ed up is that? I've started drinking too much, smoking again after quitting for years. I know it's not healthy, but I need something to take the edge off. We had plans, you know? Kids, house in the suburbs, growing old together. Now it all feels like a joke. I wonder if I'll ever trust anyone again. If I'll ever look at a woman and not wonder if she's lying to me. I've thought about calling her, asking for more details, torture myself with the specifics, but what good would that do? Some moments I feel numb. Others, the pain is so intense I can barely breathe. There's no in-between. I've started having panic attacks. Never had them before. Now they hit me at random, in the grocery store, at work, driving home. I keep replaying every moment of our relationship, looking for signs, red flags I missed. Was I just blind? Or was she that good at hiding it? The apartment feels empty without her. But the thought of her coming back makes me sick. How's that for f***ed up? I've thought about moving, starting fresh somewhere new. But running away won't fix anything, will it? Wife cheated with boss. I'm lost. I moved out. Couldn't stand being in that house anymore. Every room felt tainted. Rented a small apartment across town. It's not much, but it's mine. And it doesn't reek of betrayal. Told my family, that was fun. My mom cried. Dad wanted to talk to Jim, had to talk him down from doing something stupid. They're hurt but supportive. It helps. Lawyer up? Check. Got a shark of an attorney. She's confident we can nail Lisa to the wall if it comes to that. No fault state, but the infidelity might help with asset division. Small victories, I guess. Went to the therapist. It wasn't terrible. Didn't fix anything, but felt good to unload on someone who's paid to listen. Going back next week. Lisa's still calling, texting, emailing. I've blocked her on everything, but she keeps finding ways, begging for another chance. Swears she'll change, that it'll never happen again. Yeah, right. Saw her at the grocery store yesterday. That was hell. She looked awful. Part of me felt satisfied. The rest just felt hollow. We stood there, frozen, in the cereal aisle. Then I turned and walked away, left a full cart, couldn't deal. Jim's wife found out, not from me. Turns out Lisa wasn't his only side piece. Guy's a serial cheater, his wife's leaving him, taking the kids, serves him right. I'd feel bad for the kids if I had any empathy left. Work's been a struggle. Told my boss what happened. He's been understanding. Gave me some time off, using it to get my head straight. Or try to. Started hitting the gym hard. Running till I can't breathe. Lifting till my muscles scream. It helps. For a while at least. The endorphins are the only thing keeping me sane some days. Drinking less. Realized it wasn't helping. Just numbing me temporarily. The pain was always there waiting when I sobered up. Friends have been great. They've rallied around me, movie nights, poker games, anything to keep me distracted. I'm grateful, even if I'm shit company right now. Lisa's things are still at the house. Need to deal with that. The thought of boxing up our life together, it's overwhelming. Might hire someone to do it. Cowardly? Maybe. But I can't face it yet. Her sister stopped calling. Guess she finally realized I'm not changing my mind. It's a relief. One less voice trying to make me doubt myself. The nightmares are less frequent. Still hit me sometimes. Wake up in a cold sweat reaching for her. Then I remember. It's like losing her all over again. Started journaling. Therapist's idea. Feels dumb, but it helps organize my thoughts. Gets the poison out of my head and onto paper. Thought about dating. Downloaded some apps. Couldn't go through with it. The thought of putting myself out there, it's too much right now. Maybe someday. Found out some of our friends knew. They suspected, at least. Never said anything. Not sure how to feel about that. Angry, betrayed, just tired, I guess. Lisa's mom called. Wants to meet. Talk things out. I said no. What's there to say? Your daughter nuked our marriage. End of story. The divorce papers are drawn up. Haven't served her yet. It feels so final. Even though I know it's over, taking that step is hard. Some days are better. I can go hours without thinking about it. Other days, it's all I can do to get out of bed. The ups and downs are exhausting. Started volunteering at an animal shelter. Therapist's suggestion. Something about giving back, feeling needed. It helps. The dogs don't care about my drama. They're just happy to see me. Thinking about taking a trip. Get away for a while. Clear my head. Maybe visit my college buddy in Colorado. Mountains sound good right now. Found Lisa's anniversary gift while packing. A watch I'd been eyeing for months. Guess she had some shred of conscience. Returned it. Donated the money to a shelter. Felt good. The anger comes in waves. Some days I want to burn it all down. Others, I'm just tired. So f***ing tired. Started cooking again, nothing fancy. But it feels good to take care of myself. Small steps, right? Reconnected with some old friends. People I drifted away from during the marriage. It's nice. Reminds me there's life outside of all this shit. The house is on the market. Can't afford it on my own, and wouldn't want it anyway. Too many memories. Looking forward to a fresh start. Still haven't cried. Not really. Keep waiting for it to hit me, to break down, but it hasn't come. Not sure what that says about me. Thinking about changing jobs. Maybe even careers. Why not, right? Everything else has changed. Might as well go all in on the midlife crisis. Lisa sent divorce papers yesterday. Guess she finally accepted it's over. Should feel relieved. Instead, just feel numb. Part 3. Signed the divorce papers. Felt like signing my own death warrant. Hands were shaking so bad I could barely hold the pen. It's done now. Just waiting for it to be finalized. Lisa showed up at my apartment. Drunk. Crying. Begging for another chance. I almost caved. Almost. But then I remembered the texts. The lies. Shut the door in her face. Felt like shit after, but also relieved. Jim got fired. Turns out sleeping with your employees is frowned upon. Who knew? Part of me wanted to celebrate. Rest of me was too tired to care. Had dinner with Lisa's parents. Yeah, I know. Glutton for punishment. They wanted closure. It was awkward as hell. Her mom cried. Dad just looked disappointed. Not sure what they expected. Started dating. Nothing serious, just coffee. Dinner. It's weird. Feel like I'm cheating, even though I'm not. The guilt is messing with my head. Went on that trip to Colorado. Hiked in the mountains. Stood on a peak and screamed until my throat was raw. It helped. Came back feeling not better, but different. Therapy's going well. Started EMDR for the trauma. It's intense, exhausting, but I think it's helping. Slowly rewiring my brain. Found out Lisa's seeing someone. Mutual friend let it slip. Felt like a punch to the gut. Spent a day in bed after that, then got up and hit the gym. Progress, I guess? Work's picking up. Got a promotion. Threw myself into it. Maybe too much. It's a distraction at least. Joined a support group for divorced men. Felt cheesy at first. But it's good to talk to people who get it. Who've been there. Lisa's pregnant. Not mine, obviously. Don't know how to feel about that. Angry? Sad? Mostly just numb. Started playing guitar again. Used to love it in college. Fingers are sore, but it feels good to create something. Had a panic attack in the grocery store. That cereal aisle again. A kind old lady helped me through it. Humanity isn't all bad, I guess. Thinking about moving. New city, new start. Applied for some jobs out of state. We'll see. Found Lisa's old sweater while packing. Her scent was still on it. Broke down. First real cry since this all started. Felt awful, but also cleansing? Friends set me up on a blind date. It was a disaster. Spent half the night talking about Lisa. Poor girl. I'm clearly not ready. Got a dog. Shelter mutt. Named him Chance. He's a pain in the ass, but he gets me out of bed in the morning. That's something. Lisa's sister apologized. For pushing me to reconcile. For not seeing what her sister really was. It was unexpected, but nice. Started a blog. Anonymous. Just writing about the divorce process. The pain. The healing. It's therapeutic. And maybe it'll help someone else. Had a good day yesterday. Realized it halfway through. Felt guilty at first. Then remembered it's okay to be okay sometimes. Saw Lisa and her new guy at a restaurant. My stomach dropped, but I stayed. Finished my meal. Even smiled at them as I left. Small victories. Went to a wedding, solo. It was tough, but I survived. Danced with a bridesmaid. Laughed for the first time in months. It felt foreign, but good. Lawyer called. Divorce is final, just like that. I'm single. Felt like the ground should shake or something. But the world just kept spinning. Cleared out the last of my stuff from the house. It's sold. Somebody else's home now. Drove away and didn't look back. Progress. Started volunteering more. Food bank, homeless shelter, keeps me busy. Reminds me there's more to life than my problems. Had a dream about Lisa, a good one. Woke up happy, then remembered. The crash is always the hardest part. Reconnected with an old flame from college, just as friends. But it's nice. Reminds me of who I was before all this. Got drunk, called Lisa. Left a voicemail telling her I forgive her. Not sure if I meant it. Deleted her number the next morning. Therapy's bringing up old wounds, stuff from childhood. Realizing this mess with Lisa was just the tip of the iceberg. It's hard work, but necessary. Went on a decent date. Didn't talk about Lisa once. Felt like a normal human being for a few hours. It was nice. Found out Jim's wife took him back. Can't understand it. But it's not my circus, not my monkeys anymore. Started meditating. Feel like a hippie. But it helps quiet the noise in my head. For a few minutes at least. Lisa reached out. Wants to meet. Talk things through. I said no. Some bridges are better left burned. Had a health scare. Nothing serious, but it put things in perspective. Life's too short to dwell on the past. Booked a solo trip to Europe. Always wanted to go. Figure now's as good a time as any. Fresh start in the old world. Ran into Lisa's best friend. She apologized for not telling me what she knew. I forgave her. Surprised myself with that one. Started a new hobby. Photography. It's nice to look at the world through a different lens, literally and figuratively. Had a moment yesterday. Realized I hadn't thought about Lisa all day. It felt good. Like maybe, just maybe, I'm starting to move on. So that's where I'm at. Still a mess, but a slightly more functional one. Taking it day by day, sometimes hour by hour. But I'm still here. Still fighting. Part 4. 6 months since D-Day. A year feels like a lifetime ago. Here's where I'm at now. Back from Europe, 2 months of solo travel. It was intense, lonely at times, liberating at others. Stood at the top of the Eiffel Tower and didn't think about Lisa once. Progress, I guess. Moved to a new city, Seattle. Rain suits my mood. New job, new apartment, fresh start. It's terrifying and exciting all at once. Ran into Lisa before I left. She's showing now. 7 months along. Seeing her pregnant, it hit hard. What could have been, you know? We talked, civilly, even laughed a little. It felt like closure, or something close to it. Dating more seriously now. Met a girl, Sarah. She's patient, understanding, doesn't push. It's nice, taking it slow. Still have trust issues, but working on them. Therapy's ongoing, twice a month now instead of weekly. Unpacking a lot, childhood stuff, abandonment issues. Turns out Lisa was just the tip of the iceberg. It's hard work, but necessary. Chance is loving Seattle. All the hiking trails. He's a good wingman. Attracts a lot of attention at the dog park. Maybe I should let him pick my dates. Started a new tradition. Every Friday I try something I've never done before. Salsa dancing, rock climbing, pottery class. It's helping me rediscover myself. Figure out who I am post-Lisa. Had a setback last month, found an old photo of us. Happy, smiling, spent a day in bed. But only a day. Got up, kept going. Baby steps, works good, challenging, keeps me busy. Sometimes too busy. Trying to find that balance. Not hiding my job. But not neglected either. Made new friends, joined a kickball league. It's ridiculous. Grown adults playing a kid's game. But it's fun. Reminds me not to take life too seriously. Still writing that blog. It's taken off. Thousands of readers now. Got an offer to turn it into a book. Thinking about it. Could be cathartic. Lisa had the baby. A boy. She sent a picture. He's beautiful. It hurt. But not as much as I expected. Wished her well. Meant it. Sarah met my parents. It was a big step. They liked her. Dad pulled me aside after. Said he was proud of me for putting myself out there again. I cried. First time in front of him since I was a kid. Had a dream about Lisa. First one in months. Woke up feeling nothing. No pain, no longing. Just acceptance. It was strange, but good. Celebrated my birthday. First one without Lisa in over a decade. Friends threw a surprise party. I laughed, danced, felt genuinely happy. It was a good day. Got a letter from Jim. An apology. Part of his 12-step program. Thought about burning it. Read it instead. It didn't change anything, but it didn't hurt either. That's something. Went back to our old town for a friend's wedding. Saw all the old places. Our favorite restaurant. The park where I proposed. It was bittersweet, but I survived. Even enjoyed parts of it. Lisa's sister got married. I was invited, surprisingly. Didn't go. Sent a card. Wished her well. It felt like the adult thing to do. Had the talk with Sarah. About Lisa, the divorce, all of it. She listened, didn't judge, held me when I cried. I'm not sure I deserve her, but I'm grateful. Started volunteering at a youth center, mentoring kids from broken homes. It's challenging, rewarding, puts my own problems in perspective. Went to a divorce support group reunion, saw the progress everyone's made. It was inspiring, gave me hope. We're all surviving, some even thriving. Had a health kick. Quit smoking, cut back on drinking, started eating better, running more, feel stronger, clearer, more in control. Bought a motorcycle, midlife crisis, maybe. But the open road helps clear my head. There's freedom in it. Got a promotion at work, feeling more settled in Seattle. Like maybe I could put down roots here. It's a good feeling. Unfamiliar, but good. Sarah said, "I love you" last night. I didn't say it back, not yet. But I didn't panic either. Baby steps. She understands, I'm lucky. Looked at my wedding photos yesterday. For the first time in months. It didn't destroy me. Felt more like looking at someone else's life. A different me. A different time. Forgave myself for not seeing the signs, for trusting too much, for the anger and bitterness afterward. It was a process. But I got there. Finally. Thinking about the future again. Career goals, travel plans, maybe even a family someday. It doesn't feel impossible anymore, just distant. But approaching. Called Lisa. Congratulated her on the baby. It was a short call, cordial, no drama, no hidden feelings, just two people who used to know each other. It was okay. Attended a friend's divorce, felt like an expert, Gave advice, offered support, realized how far I've come. It was a sobering moment, had a panic attack. First one in months, handled it better, breathed through it, called my therapist, didn't let it derail me. Progress isn't linear, but it's still progress. Adopted another dog, a friend for Chance. An older girl from the shelter, named her Hope. Felt appropriate. Started learning to cook, really cook, gourmet stuff. It's fun, creative. Sarah appreciates it, so do I. It's nice to nurture something. Someone. Went to a high school reunion, saw old friends, people who knew me before Lisa, before the divorce. It was grounding. Reminded me of who I used to be, who I could be again. So that's where I'm at. 6 months later, still healing, still growing, but stronger now, more whole. The pain's still there, but it's duller. More of an ache than a stabbing wound. I'm not the same person I was a year ago. That guy's gone. But maybe this new version of me isn't so bad. He's been through hell, but he's still standing, still fighting, still hoping. Part 5. 1 year since D-Day. Feels like a lifetime ago. Here's the latest. Seattle's home now, rain and all. Got promoted again, leading my own team. It's challenging, but good. Keeps me focused. Sarah and I are still together. It's getting serious. Met her family over Thanksgiving. They're good people. Her dad pulled me aside, gave me the "what are your intentions" talk. It was oddly comforting. Normal. Said "I love you" back to Sarah last month. Meant it. It was scary as hell, but freeing too. Like jumping off a cliff and realizing you can fly. Therapy's down to once a month. More like maintenance now. Still unpacking stuff, but it's manageable. I've got tools now. Coping mechanisms. They help. Chance and Hope are thriving. Got a house with a yard for them. It's not much, but it's ours. Sarah moved in last week. It feels right. The book deal came through. My blog's becoming a memoir. It's surreal, terrifying. But maybe it'll help someone else. That's the hope anyway. Lisa's son turned one. She sent a picture. He's got her eyes. It stung, but not like before. Wished them well. Meant it this time. Had a dream about Lisa. We were friends, just friends. Woke up feeling peaceful. Like maybe that's possible someday. Not now, but someday. Sarah found my old wedding ring while we were unpacking. I'd forgotten about it. We talked, she listened, then we went and sold it. Used the money for a weekend getaway, making new memories. My kickball team made the league finals. We lost spectacularly, laughed the whole time. These people have become real friends. Family, almost. Got an email from Jim. He's 1 year sober. Wanted to make amends. I wrote back, told him I forgive him. Surprised myself by meaning it. Went home for Christmas. First time since the divorce. It was weird, but good. Mom didn't walk on eggshells. Dad didn't avoid the topic. We talked about Lisa, about the divorce. It didn't break me. Sarah got a job offer in Chicago. We're talking about it. The thought of moving doesn't terrify me like it would have a year ago. Home is where she is now. Saw my ex-therapist for a check-in. She said she's proud of me, that I've come a long way. I think she's right. Had a health scare. Turned out to be nothing, but it put things in perspective. Life's short. I'm done wasting it on anger and regret. Thinking about proposing to Sarah. Not yet, but soon. The idea doesn't panic me anymore. It feels right. Bumped into Lisa's sister at the airport. We got coffee, caught up. It was nice. No drama, no hidden agendas. Just two people who used to be family. Started mentoring a kid from the youth center. He's going through his parents' divorce. It's tough, but rewarding. Feels like I'm turning my pain into something useful. Had a guy's weekend with my old college buddies. They said I seem happier, more like my old self. I think they're right. Got a letter from Lisa. She's moving out of state. Wanted to say goodbye. Thanked me for how I handled everything. It felt like the final chapter closing. Celebrated 1 year with Sarah. Took her to the spot where we had our first date. Thanked her for her patience, her understanding, for loving me when I wasn't sure I could love myself. So here I am. 1 year later. I'm not the same man I was. That guy's gone. But this new version, he's stronger, wiser, more grateful. The pain's still there sometimes. A dull ache rather than a sharp stab. But most days, I'm happy. Genuinely happy. Part 6. 5 years since D-Day. It's been a journey, folks. Here's where life's taken me. Married to Sarah for 3 years now. She's pregnant with our first, a girl, due in 2 months. I'm excited, terrified, but mostly grateful. We're in Chicago, have been for 4 years. Sarah's killing it at her job. I'm running my own tech startup. It's stressful, but fulfilling. Never thought I'd be here. The book did well, got translated into a dozen languages, still get emails from readers, people going through what I went through. It's humbling. Reminds me how far I've come. Therapy's an as-needed thing now. Maybe once or twice a year. More like tune-ups. Life's good, but it's always good to check in. Chance crossed the Rainbow Bridge last year. It hit hard. Hope's still going strong, though. We adopted another rescue. A scrappy little terrier. Named him Phoenix. Felt fitting. Lisa reached out last month. Her son's starting kindergarten. She's divorced again. Wanted to apologize. Really apologize. We met for coffee. It was okay. Not friends, but not enemies either. Just two people who shared a past. Sarah knows about the meeting. Supported it. She's amazing like that. Secure, trusting. Everything Lisa wasn't. Everything I needed. Jim's still sober. 5 years now. He's remarried, has a podcast about recovery. Good for him, I mean that. My parents are doting grandparents-to-be. Mom's already bought out half the baby stores in Seattle. Dad's building a crib. They're happy. I'm happy they're happy. The youth center kid I mentored, he's in college now. Pre-law. Calls me sometimes for advice. It's nice to be needed. To be a positive influence. Had a reunion with my old divorce support group. We meet up once a year now. It's good to see how far we've all come. Some remarried, some happily single. All survivors. The anger's gone. Completely. Took a while, but it faded. Now when I think of Lisa, it's just neutral. Like thinking about an old classmate. Sarah and I have date nights every week, no matter how busy we get. It's non-negotiable, keeping the spark alive, learning from past mistakes. We went to Europe last summer. Revisited some spots from my post-divorce trip. Made new memories. Better ones. I'm writing again. Not about divorce this time. A novel. Who knows if it'll go anywhere, but it feels good to create. Had a health kick recently. Ran a marathon. Sarah called me crazy, but cheered the loudest at the finish line. We're looking at houses in the suburbs, good schools, big yards. Never thought I'd be excited about that stuff. But here we are. Lisa's son is calling her new husband Dad now. She told me during our coffee meet. Thought it might hurt. It didn't. I'm glad the kid has a good father figure. Sarah and I have a pact. No secrets. Total honesty. Even when it's hard, especially when it's hard. It's saved us more than once. I still have bad days sometimes. Days when the old doubts creep in, the insecurities, but they're rare now. And I have tools to deal with them. We're already talking about a second kid, maybe adoption, giving a home to a child who needs one. It feels right, my startup's taking off. We're in talks with some big investors. It's exciting, scary, but I've faced scarier. Sarah's sister is going through a divorce. I've become the go-to for advice. Weird to be on this side of it. But it feels good to help. We host Thanksgiving now. Big affair, friends, family, co-workers. The house is chaos, but the good kind. The kind I always wanted. I found my old wedding photos last week. Was looking for something else in the attic. Looked at them, felt nothing. No pain, no regret. Just acknowledgement of a past life. Sarah asked if I ever regret not having kids with Lisa. Honest answer? Sometimes. But then I look at our life, at the family we're building. Wouldn't change a thing. We're planning a trip to Seattle next year. Show Sarah where it all began, where I started to heal. Might even drive by the old house, for closure, or just curiosity. I still wear my therapy bracelet, the one I got during those first tough months. A reminder of how far I've come, how strong I can be. We have a wall in our home office, photos, mementos, the story of us. There's a small section dedicated to my past, Lisa, the divorce. It's part of my journey. Sarah understands that. I mentor young entrepreneurs now, sharing what I've learned. About business, sure, but also about life, resilience, starting over. We're godparents to my best friend's kid. It's a responsibility I take seriously. Being a positive male role model, something I didn't always have. Sarah and I have a 10-year plan, big dreams. But we're also learning to enjoy the now. The small moments. They're what really matter. I still go to my kickball league. Different city, same ridiculous fun. Sarah joins sometimes, laughs at how seriously I take it. We're talking about renewing our vows for our 5th anniversary. Not because we need to, but because we want to celebrate how far we've come. So that's it, Reddit. 5 years later. Life's good, really good. Not perfect, but real. And that's better than perfect. To those still in the trenches, still hurting, still healing, it gets better, I promise. The pain fades, the scars remain, but they fade. And what grows in their place? It's beautiful. I'm not the man I was 5 years ago. I'm better, stronger, more compassionate, more grateful. It's a hell of a ride, but it's worth it. Trust me. 5 years po-divorce, happily remarried, baby on the way, life's good, healing is possible. There's light after darkness, always.